What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the morning movie chat. I am your host, Trinity. Thank you all so much for being here today. I hope you're all having a very good Monday morning. And man, what a Monday it is. It seems like all of a sudden, society has got canceled, right? Oh man. Oh, this era of cancel culture continues with this. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that thing going around there. That thing going around. It's canceled. It's canceled culture for everybody, from movies to TV to theaters to work to school to everything. Everything out there is being affected by this thing. And let me know down in the comments below, how has it affected your life so far? I'll tell you, for me, like me, I own my own business, so I haven't really felt the effects of it yet. I'm sure at some point it will come. I'm not sure if my wife, what my wife does, if in her industry, if it will be. It's aerospace, so who knows? I don't know, but I know there are certainly a lot of people out there who have been. Basically, there are a lot of people working from home. Other things have been canceled. I know somebody was here on my show even on Friday in the chats. A good friend of the channel here, Rob Worst, was in here. He's a court reporter. Gets paid out 1099. He said until court's back in session, he's pretty much out of a job. He don't, so I mean, there's a lot of people being affected by this stuff now. A lot of it, I mean, hey, I get it. It's serious stuff, something not to be taken lightly, but at the same time, we always got to think rationally, folks. Well, there is cause, to be extra cautious. Is it time for alarm? I don't know. The crazy people out there would make you think so. They're out there buying everything up off the shelves and making it hard for you to go out and get your normal grocery shopping done, right? Right? Over, simple things. And it's not it's past the point now where it's not even just like all the little all the little things, like, or all the things like the toilet paper and everything like that, and the water. Now it's the water. At first it was toilet paper, now we're hearing the water. Now you're seeing all the canned goods. Now you're seeing all this stuff and this and that, and like I don't know, guys. I don't know what to think. Like I said, how has it affected you though? Like I said, for me, I really haven't personally felt the effects of it yet, but I'm sure at some point we will. Now, it is obviously affecting a lot of things in the industry in which we talk about here on the channel, which is a lot of movies. We see a lot of TV shows being like their productions being halted. The TV shows, movie productions being halted. We see people out there putting themselves in self-isolation. Some of these directors, like the director of Shang-Chi, who put himself in self-isolation because he was showing symptoms. And yeah, I don't know, just a whole lot of things going crazy out there. So I mean, I wish I could say just always look forward to more content here on the channel, but I run my own business, guys, so like like no matter what, I've got to be out there working. And the cool thing is like with the business that I do, it's easily like I can go in and see a lot of people. And I mean, as long as people are out at work, the places I go to are places where people go out and work, but mostly like they're not going to put like real estate agents and stuff like that. They're not really dealing with a lot of people every day. I see like hairstylists and barbers. I mean, no, they do. They do, but it's still on a limited basis. You know what I mean? Some of the places I go into are a little bit bigger, but we see that's the big thing. Everybody's so cautious around being one another, and I totally get it. It totally makes sense for people to take all the precautions necessary in this time. So, but one thing we'll probably do here on the channel is we'll probably start doing, maybe have some, I've got videos that I have here that I've had meant to drop here on the channel. They're uploaded and everything. I've been so busy with everything, I haven't got a chance to get all the like the little info cards and end screens and all that added on to them, and stuff that helps the channel out. I haven't got any of that stuff done because I've been really busy with a lot of stuff, but I've still managed to get some of these live streams in here for you all, and I hope you're all having a very good day today. And I see Tommy is in the building. Tommy, where have you been, my brother? Hope all is well, man. I seen you dropped a new video. Was it just this morning? Was it just this morning, or was it late last night? But let's see. We got Rose Sachs here. Thank you for being here. Captain Pennsylvania. You throw a thumbnail of Frank the Tank and I start streaking. Hell yeah. Maverick Pilgrim, thank you so much for being here. Snow Dub says, finally made it. Jenner check. What's up? Russell, thank you so much for being here. Round 2, morning, fellas. I'm True Skills. Thank you for being here. And Tommy, yes, Tommy is back in the house. Hasn't affected me at all. I'm still working and living normal life. Yeah, for the most part, me too. Okay. Tommy is, oh yeah, and see right there down in the description, you can follow that link right there that Tommy dropped there in the chats. One of the hardest working moderators on YouTube, and see that's my business. That's what I do. If you need snacks delivered to your house or wherever you're at, hey, go check out that link, folks. Great stuff. Only the freshest and best snacks available on the market. Let's see who else we got here. I'm True Skill says everything is shutting down in New York. Oh yeah, I bet it is. And it makes me wonder, how is the comic industry doing? How's distribution and everything? Are we going to have our normal new comic Wednesday and stuff like that? Because if you think about it, I mean, I don't know. Like a lot of those people, I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. What up? No cases here. Woo woo. Oh, okay, nice. Where you at, Mike? Where you at, Mike? Curious. No movie theater, says Rose Sachs. Yeah, and my local theater, I rode by it the other night on Saturday night. It looked like there was plenty of people there watching movies. It didn't look packed, but it didn't look not busy neither. Just got in. Sorry, I'm late. All good, Hector. Thank you for being here. So let's see who else we got here. Maverick Pilgrim says, "Yo, Tommy, sorry, I'm working while watching and listening to the stream." Awesome. We got Fanjecture in the house. Thank you so much for being here. Trini, I'm going to grab the new Thor comics and catch up. Dude, Maverick, those new Thor comics are fire. Bro, if you guys, anybody out there watching right now, if you're not reading Thor, Donnie Cates just recently started a series back at the beginning. I think it was at the beginning of the year in January of Thor. It might have actually started in December. I'm pretty sure it was January. But they just released Thor issue number 4 written by Donnie Cates, and I'm telling you, it's great. It's great. You guys are missing out. And I'm not even like a big Donnie Cates fan. I'm not like a big Thor fan in the comics or anything. This series is great. Definitely a must read. My comic shop is closed. Oh man, I was out at a food store earlier and everything was damn near cleaned out. Bread, yeah, I know everything. Yeah, it's like ridiculous. On an island, off-road island, so kind of cheating. Oh, okay, all right, yeah, good deal. Oh shoot, I got to run out there before my LCS closes. Definitely. So, yeah, guys, got a couple things I want to talk about today, but we're gonna have a very special guest here with us, and today, my very special guest, we're gonna have on. And if there's anybody else out there in the film community who wants to come on to Morning Movie Chat and we'll chat about some movies, let's do it this week, guys. Today we got with us Adam from Fanjecture.
Good morning.
How you doing?
How are you?
Good.
I'm doing well. I'm down here in the bunker, hanging out, working from home for the foreseeable future. So hanging out. That's which is nice. Then I'm able to hop on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
I've never done the Morning Movie Chat before.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and most people haven't because a lot of people are typically working around this time. I think for the most part, I've really only had like LB from the Lonely Banter here on the Morning Movie Chat. I've had Stevie J from Stevie J's Reviews on here a couple times. I think Matt's Mama Bear came on one time. So yeah, and it's different because like I chose this time because this is the time that just works for me. This time slot, not necessarily for any other reason really. And because like I get my kids ready for school, and then I can do this. I have an hour, and then I got 1 hour till I want to try to be leaving the house, to go to work and everything. And then the John Campea show starts, and I kind of started this show to be like a replacement for the John Campea show because there's some people out there who don't like the John Campea show, but I try not to take his topics and like regurgitate them the same thing because like then I'm just copying his show, and that just seems lame. But it's a time slot that works, and people are listening and watching. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a nice little sandwich between the two, between that and Den of Nerds for sure.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that Josh over there, man, he keeps seems like he keeps running into my showtime, and
I tell you, running in your showtime, taking your topics. I don't know.
He's appropriating my content that I appropriated from you, taking appropriating my showtimes. Well, I'm watching you, Josh. I'm watching you, bruh. Oh yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I wasn't for sure what we should talk about today, and I'm not. Are you a fan of Will Ferrell?
Of course, absolutely.
All right, good deal, good deal. Because
Definitely.
that's what I was like, maybe we can go ahead and talk about some Will Ferrell because last night when I was going to, we were just winding down for the night, getting ready to go to sleep and everything, and my kids put on Daddy's Home too, which is
Mhm.
funny because have you seen Daddy's Home and Daddy's Home too?
I saw the first one. I've yet to see the second one.
Oh, okay. Um, and they put it on to watch it, and I was sitting there watching. And these movies, they're pretty funny. Both of them are actually pretty funny movies. I really do like them. But I started thinking about just kind of like Will Ferrell and his kind of like career and how it's been. And it was
Yeah.
funny too when we were watching Daddy's Home too because I remember when that came out at the movie theater. My kids, like I seen the previews for it, I was like, yeah, okay, Daddy's Home. We had Daddy's Home on the blue. I think we got it on Blu-ray. But we had it and they liked it and they watched it and everything. And my kids are age 5 to 10 right now, so they like it. But then this Daddy's Home 2 came on at the theater, and they're like, oh, I can't remember what movie we went to watch. And they're like, oh, we want to see Daddy's Home 2. I'm like, are you serious? Want to see? They're like, yeah. And so we went to take him to see it, and I told my wife and even my mom, like, oh yeah, I took him to see. They wanted to see Daddy's Home 2. And they're like, oh yeah, yeah, they wanted to see it. I'm like, I didn't want to see it there. They did. I'm serious, and they did. The kids were like, yeah, we wanted to go see it, and it's a pretty good one. But I noticed, like, Will Ferrell's career seemed like it kind of like, as aside, like his film career kind of really peaked early on, and then
Mhm.
kind of started to really taper off.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I looked up the years because I knew the movies obviously, but I was trying to remember the years. So it was like the early aughts was when he like jumped up. So he had Zoolander in '01,
Mhm.
Old School in '03, Elf in '03, Anchorman in '04, Wedding Crashers in '05, Talladega Nights in '06. Like that was the Will Ferrell era right there in the early aughts. And then
Right.
in '07 he did Blades of Glory, and I feel like that was the movie that
That
kind of
derailed it.
stopped everything because
Yeah.
that I did not like that movie.
Oh, really? See, and like
No,
Blades of
not a big
Glory, I like it, but it's certainly not the best of movies for sure.
fan.
It's not like a great comedy, but yeah, I would say that was definitely probably like that was probably the film that came out that kind of was noticeably where the things started to kind of, I wouldn't say go downhill necessarily, but maybe it was
Right.
just the end
It
of
was
that era for those kind of comedies.
it was a falter for sure because after that he did Semi Pro, which was definitely a mixed reaction.
Ooh, yeah.
And then he did Step Brothers, which I think, as much as everyone likes Step Brothers now, I don't think people really saw that movie at the time because after you do Blades of Glory and Semi Pro, here comes this other comedy. And by then you're like, he just did two in a row that really weren't that good. So I'm not really going to see Step Brothers. So it took a while for people to really even get into Step Brothers because no one saw it because of the last two he did before that.
Right. Yeah, and he's had some really good ones in there as well. Like, because it seemed like even like later he's started to do a little bit more like serious type-ish of films.
Yeah.
When we think of things like Stranger Than Fiction
Hmm.
and yeah, what was it? What was the other one? Everything
Everything
Must
must
Go.
go. Yeah,
Which one?
everything must go.
Yeah, Everything Must. Which one did you mention?
Everything must go.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, yeah. Everything Must Go was kind of a little bit more serious.
Mhm.
And what's funny is, was that around the same time? Was was Stranger Than Fiction around the same time as Walter Mitty?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is a great movie.
Uh,
And yeah, I was gonna say maybe I should look that up because those movies are somewhat similar in the way that they come off and everything. And
mhm.
yeah, I don't know. Let's see here.
That was 2013. Um,
Okay, 2013. All right,
so
yeah,
yeah, so I think kind of around the same time.
yeah, because I
It was
think
definitely it was
it was
definitely
within.
around that time where like all these older comedic actors are starting to like branch out into doing other things. Like Adam Sandler around the same time too started doing all these other more serious roles. So it was sort of like the next evolution of their careers.
Yeah, and it seems like a lot of comedians end up having to do that anyway. I mean, they do a lot of
Mhm.
the high peak comedy stuff, and it doesn't really seem like it doesn't. Why does it seem like that never really has a longevity to it?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends because
Because
it
I mean, there's been no comedian really that's had a shtick or done their thing for a sustained amount of time. Like even Adam Sandler, same thing. Like he came out, really peaked within the first handful of movies, and then it started to go to trend downward, and then started getting into more drama type movies. I'm not sure that there's really anybody that's maintained a good like comedic film career.
I mean, the one person I would say is Robin Williams. I mean, obviously he passed away. But I think his career, he was able to balance both for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. But you know what? And probably he might be one of the only ones that's done it. I
Mhm.
mean,
It's definitely hard.
John Candy, I guess you could say, but I mean, his
Yeah,
career is really short if you think about it. I mean, he's another one of those guys that was just gone too early.
sure.
And see, here we are. We were talking about Will Ferrell, and all of a sudden that's it's weird how comedy is like that. You get off on these other tangents and things, thinking about comparing other people to just different actors and things like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's tough for comedic actors because you really I mean, look, I'm in the camp that thinks comedy might be harder than drama, because there's a lot to it, and I'm not saying that drama is easy by any stretch of the imagination, but it really like a good comedic actor who can then do drama as well, it really shows your range, and it's very difficult for people to do it. Like I know like Pete Davidson just had a new movie come out. I think it's on Netflix. I haven't seen it yet, so, but I'm interested in seeing it. So, like, a lot of comedic actors realize at some point, if you want to further your career, and especially nowadays where comedy is, I'm not going to say subjective, but it's like it's under scrutiny a lot. So I think a lot of comedic actors feel that they can't be funny. No, whether that's true or not, but that's sort of like the impression that we're getting nowadays.
like the
So
raunchy comedies.
yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
you don't really get those too much anymore. So they're really trying to stretch out and you really see who are the really good actors when it comes to that.
Right. And it's funny that you bring that up because that's something like I talked about even with Stevie J's reviews when he was on one time when I was talking about that is like you were just saying about the comedic actors is I think that in itself, I think that is harder to do than dramas, definitely, because one, in not only does it involve, I mean, great skills, I mean, timing,
Mhm.
but it really involves everything, even down to like little micro expressions. Like you really have to do all of these things to over dramatize something as a comedic actor to make it funnier, to make it serious and different things like that. So I think they learn those chops a little bit better. And at the same token, I think actors who have really great range in drama, like really great range in drama, are able to do comedy as well. Because somebody else came on and kind of they dropped a couple examples when we were talking about that, I believe, of great dramatic actors who have done the same thing, made that transition from great drama
Mhm.
to doing that comedic stuff. And I think a lot of it really does come into that timing kind of stuff and being able to convey those feelings. Because there are some movies like really like that I've seen from out of great dramatic actors and especially great comedic actors is that all it takes is like like a certain way you deliver a line and then you're going from like something really funny and hilarious to bam, all of a sudden
Mhm.
it's like dramatic and that's like a gut punch, like whoa whoa whoa, like this just took a serious turn,
Yeah.
just like that.
I was another name popped into my head, Steve Carell, I think is one that is having a very long career, of doing both comedy and drama as well.
Yeah, yeah, and his career, same thing. It started
Mhm.
off with a like I would say it started off with a pretty good peak, and then kind of sort of tapered off. But I wouldn't say that his. I think maybe it's just because the route that he took to get where he is at wasn't quite the same as everybody else. It seemed like it was a little more non-traditional route into getting like into the movies, and when his career really took off and started to, I would say,
Mhm.
kind of taper off a little more in that more dramatic area. And what was really great is The Office kind of covers a lot of that
Right.
throughout that whole series, because there's times when it's like just, I mean, silly as shit. I mean, it just cracks you up to no end. And then there's times when like it gets kind of serious and like, oh wow, like hey,
Yeah.
pulling that off pretty good.
Yeah, I fell off The Office when he left, though. It just wasn't the same. I just
Yeah,
couldn't get into it. But yeah,
definitely.
you know who I think is good dramatic to comedy? Scarlett Johansson is a name that comes to my mind, where she obviously is a very good dramatic actress.
Hmm.
But she, you know, especially like with Taika Waititi stuff, and like she does a lot of comedic roles as well, and she's one that I think can definitely transfer her dramatic skills and kind of be able to have that timing and that nuance that comedy has. I think she's proven it too.
Right, right. And and then there's a whole lot of actors that kind of like, I think a lot of like, we could easily look at an example like look at Jennifer Aniston. You know what I mean? She's like
Yeah.
she's Rachel in every damn thing she does. She's Rachel in everything she does.
Yeah.
But she's also good enough that she can make those switches too, like from doing stuff funny to all of a sudden being dramatic as well. um
Oh
Even
yeah.
though she's still within the confines of that same kind of character that she always is, you know what I mean? Because really she seems like she's always just a variation of that Rachel character, and I
Mhm.
don't think it's just because she played that role for so long. I think it's just, I mean, and not that she has limited range, but I just think that's what she ends up getting, or maybe the job she ends up taking.
Yeah, it's hard for people who are primarily television actors to get away from that. And it's not that they're necessarily typecast, it's that for a show like Friends or a show like The Office with Steve Carell, they're in your homes for, and especially with those kind of shows, for 30 weeks of a year for 8, 6 to 10 years it could be if it's a real popular show. So you kind of who they are is impermeated into your brain. So when I see Steve Carell, he's a great actor and he can do multiple things, but you always just kind of see Steve Carell. With Jennifer Aniston, yeah, I mean the character she played in Friends was different than the character she played in Horrible Bosses. I mean, clearly they're very different, but it's still Jennifer Aniston, and it's still hard to get away from that. I think it's harder for TV actors to shed that skin versus like movie actors who, like Leonardo DiCaprio, like you kind of always do see Leo, but I feel like someone like a movie star like him, he really gets into the role, and for some reason, like I see his roles different in every movie. I don't know. Maybe that's
Right. Yeah.
so I don't know. I think maybe it might be a TV thing versus starting out in movies. I don't know.
Yeah. And I hate that you brought up Leo, because don't even get me started on Leo. You know what I mean? Don't even get me started on Leo. I
Wait,
used
you
to,
have beef with Leo?
huh?
You have beef with Leo?
No, 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 no. Because,
Oh,
well, I used to think that I wasn't really like a big fan of his or anything. But then I
mhm,
go back and I think of all of his movies that I've ever seen and watched and everything. I'm like, dude, he's freaking
he's great.
great in everything he does. And one of my favorites that he did was a long time ago with Ellen Barkin and Robert De Niro, This Boy's Life.
Mhm.
And I think about that movie, man, and like I think about the time I seen it and when I watched it and everything. I'm just like, dude, like that movie is just so damn good, man. Such a great damn film. And it's funny because I never hear anybody talk about that movie when they talk about Leonardo DiCaprio's career, Ellen
Yeah.
Barkin's career, Robert De Niro's career. And if you go watch that movie, dude, seriously, go watch This Boy's Life. I mean, that movie will flip your lid, bro. Like, it's such a great movie. And
Yeah.
man, I mean, just like, and everybody's performance in the damn movie is just so damn good.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, for him, you got What's Eating Gilbert Grape, which he was
mhm.
great in, Basketball Diaries, which is such a brutal movie.
Yeah,
That was around the time with that and Kids. Like
yeah,
those types of movies really were like brutal, hard look at real life too.
yeah. Captain Pennsylvania's here, and this is hard. This is totally it. It's hard to be funny,
Mhm.
and that's the absolute truth. You can't. you can't, and that's the thing I always try to tell people, like if they're trying to, like, don't try to be funny, like you just go, like, you either have it or you don't. That's really what it's about. And
Yeah.
also, like, comedy is really a lot about timing as well.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, here's part of the unfortunate part, especially thinking about things like what's going on right now in the world right now, is that comedy is all about timing. But also, when it comes to comedy, I really feel like there's no holds barred. Anything's open. Anything's open. Unfortunately, a lot of people in society don't exactly feel the same about that. But I do feel that when it comes to comedy, pretty much it's a no holds barred kind of thing. Like any kind of comedy, I'm down for it. Offensive, whatever, I don't care. I don't care. But a lot of people feel differently about that, and we can see that it does kind of affect movie culture and stuff as well, with the kind of movies that have been coming out lately. I think the last real raunchy comedy I remember seeing was Sausage Fest.
So the Sausage Party, the animated
Oh
movie?
yeah, yeah,
That
that's
one?
it. Sausage Party,
Yeah, yeah.
Sausage Party, Sausage Fest. Same thing, right?
Um,
Same thing, right?
yeah,
Yeah, Sausage Party. I
you
think that's
might,
the last real raunchy comedy that I've seen come out.
yeah, like any of the James Franco ones really are probably that now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I mean the James Franco, Seth Rogen kind of have cornered the raunchy market in
Yeah.
those. So their last outings. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of the last one that they did the live action.
Pope Cerebus says Steve Carell will have a Steve Martin like career from silly comedy to heavy drama. Although I struggle to think of current heavy drama Steve Martin has done. Right, but Steve Martin, not anything current, but he has done plenty of heavy drama. And Steve Martin, yeah, he's another great example too. And yeah, his career is great too, man. I could go on about Steve Martin too. Like The Jerk, that's like an all-time classic, man. Like I love The Jerk, man. That's another one of those kind of movies that, man, like the right people would have to make that movie these days without people getting all upset about it.
Yeah, I still love the Father of the Bride movies. I don't know if it's cool to say that you like them, but I do. I think they're funny.
Yeah, yeah,
I haven't watched them in a while, but they're pretty good.
definitely.
For 90s movies.
Hmm. Let's see. Captain Pennsylvania says Jennifer Aniston is my goddess. I pray to her beauty before sleep. Yeah, Jennifer. I mean, and the thing is she's looked the same age
Mhm.
since that dang show started. You know. Okay, maybe
Helps to
since
have
about season four. Maybe since about season four.
right.
Yeah.
Money helps.
Also,
Money.
Friends lasted 40. Friends lasted 42 years. It was hard to see the actors as something else.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. AFK Bart says, "Oh wait, was Will Ferrell in Zoolander? Yes, I love that character. Will's personality totally fit. Absolutely, yeah. Will, and that's the thing. Maybe we should get back into Will Ferrell,
Sure.
because yeah, like thinking about his career and just what he's done. Again, he is another one of those great actors who has managed to I don't know, I guess have a pretty decent career going from the comedy to the drama, but like his drama, I don't think his drama stuff has hit quite as hard as say like some of the Adam Sandler stuff has, or even somebody like a Tom Hanks. I mean, that was something else we talked about too. Was Tom Hanks? He's another one of those kind
I
of
think I think probably because most of his dramatic stuff are more dramedies or dark
right,
comedies. He doesn't really go full drama. Like Adam Sandler, Steve Carell, they aren't afraid. I'm not saying he's afraid, but like most of the projects that they picked, especially Adam Sandler, are actual dramas. They're not
right,
comedies. They may have some funny elements to it, just like all dramas have a little bit of lighthearted ness to them.
right.
But yeah, I would say most of his are more dramedies than anything else. So that's probably why they haven't hit as hard.
Yeah, that's true, and that's why I say I think maybe it comes down to the certain ones because like I said, Stranger Than Fiction is one of those. I think it was just that maybe the right movie at the right time with the right writers and
Mhm.
the right director. Because that's one of those ones. It's not really. That's one of those ones. I think, like you're saying, like is one of the few ones. It's not a dramedy. I think it's actually more of a drama than anything. But yeah, I do agree with that. I guess that would be a little bit more it. And the thing is he I noticed his career, like I was saying, with where it started off with where we get an old school to now. Like I said, we got these Daddy's Homes films, and they're exactly that. And I would say they're more comedy than they are even drama. They're more comedy that have some of those dramatic elements sprinkled in there that
Mhm.
I don't know. I think those are kind of great movies that are probably needed out there too, because it kind of it gets somebody like me, and it even hooks in audiences like my kids who are 10 and under. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he just did Downhill, right? That's the one with oh, what's her name? Um Julia Louis Dreyfus, right?
I
The
don't think I've
so
seen that
and
one.
that no, I haven't seen it either. I didn't get the best reviews. It
Mhm.
supposedly wasn't very good, but that was supposed to be another. It's definitely more of a dramatic film than anything. So I don't know. I think maybe people just can't take him seriously. Not to say that he
Yeah.
can't do it, but when you see Will Ferrell, like, you want to laugh. Like, that's your number one thing. Like, when he shows up at these award shows and does his little, like, 3-minute skits, like, there's some of the best stuff that they
Yeah.
have.
Oh
Um,
man, are you talking about like the ESPYS when he showed up there and they pretty much canceled that and they won't do that ever again? Did you ever see that video?
of him in the ESPYs?
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't
Oh man,
if
dude, I
I'm
can't
not
remember who
remembering,
was
then
it
I
in the
gotta look it
crowd.
up
Was
after.
it he was on the ESPYS
Okay.
and he went, dude, like because he was playing Harry Carey.
Okay.
He's doing Harry Carey at the ESPYS, and he went out there and went on his little spill. And dude, like there was like athletes out in the crowd. Like there was a couple people laughing, but there's people just sitting out there in the crowd like because like the shit he was saying, it was so hilarious, but
Yeah.
it was kind of offensive.
Yeah.
But oh man, like I think he talked about John Elway. Oh man, did he say something about Tiger Woods? I don't know. He said something about several like people who were really big into sports that year, dude. And like, dude, people were like, there was like people like doing that nervous laugh and stuff. They're like, like, and it was
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to
so
go watch that
great.
after.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, yeah. Look up Will Ferrell, Harry Carey, ESPYS.
Okay.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude. I watched that skit, dude. I'm just like, I was dying. And it's just kind of like that thing back in the God. What was that back in the God? Was that back in the '90s or was that in the '80s still? When Guns N' Roses won that award and they went on stage. Was it Grammys? Isn't that what the awards they do for the music? And they went out on stage and were like completely drunk and started talking a bunch of shit there on live TV. And that's when they started doing like the live events. They started doing that little pause in there where they could edit out the
Right, right.
videos and stuff.
The delay. Yeah,
But yeah, I'm telling you, check out the SB's Harry Carey, dude.
okay.
Hilarious stuff.
Definitely will.
Hilarious. Like I said, I could go on and on about that. It's so funny. Oh, I think it's because I like that's one of the things I like, and maybe there should be more of that because I don't like even as hard as Ricky Gervais went. I like that
Mhm.
uncomfortable comedy because like Ricky Gervais just went hard. Everybody's like, haha, yeah, whatever, but like that stuff that really makes people uncomfortable because you could see when Will Ferrell was doing that thing, dude. Like people were really uncomfortable and people had a problem with it.
Not to go off on a tangent, but when I was watching Ricky Gervais, in the last one,
Hmm.
when it was done, I thought, "Oh, I thought that was kinda tame." Like, I didn't think
Yeah,
I thought he coulda went actually hard enough, and I was shocked at the reaction online that they thought he, like, went so hard, and I was like, "Man, he coulda went harder for sure." Like,
yeah, yeah.
I love when Ricky Gervais hosts stuff. He's great.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
stand-up
yeah. When I heard what he done, and I seen all the things everyone was talking about, and I seen it because I don't watch the award shows, but I was like, really, like that wasn't really anything, man. Like that was like he could have went way harder, even on network TV. I think he could have went way harder at some of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, Will is also golden, Eastbound and Down, dude. I don't even know that I've seen the whole first season of that, but the episodes I did see is hilarious. Like Danny McBride,
Mhm.
that dude's hilarious.
I like the first season. I thought that the second and third season, I don't even know if there was a fourth season because I fell off of it, but the first season, some great television for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, like I said, Danny McBride, he's another one of those two. He's another one of those two. I wonder how that guy is in real life.
I
You know
gotta
what I mean?
imagine he's the same.
That's kind of what I think too. But I think maybe he's just that good at being that character. You know,
Right.
almost like that Myrtle guy. Everybody thinks that's me. That's not me, man.
No.
That's
No, I've hung out with both of you at the same time, so that's definitely not you.
yeah. Some athletes are so used to being told what they can, told they could do no wrong. So being roasted on their own turf probably didn't sit too well with them. Yeah, and like I said, yeah, I should just pull that up and we should watch that stuff anyway. Because I'm telling you, dude, like that that Will Ferrell at the ESPYs thing, dude, it is. Oh, dude, like yeah, that like it makes that Ricky Gervais stuff pale in comparison. It really
Yeah.
does. Oh, Rob
Well,
Worth, thank you so much for being here. I was talking about you earlier, Rob. I was talking about you earlier. Yeah. Let's see.
I also don't think athletes are used to being roasted for sure. Like actors get it, like because they've been being roasted at these award shows, varying levels of degree, but they've been roasted forever.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm right here. Just people lose their jobs over a joke. Oh wait. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. They're talking about yeah, yeah. Some people lose their jobs over, and that's just crazy. That's like I was, talking. It started off the show talking about the cancel culture out there, man. Right now, like seriously, like this flu going around. I mean, I think it's taking the cake. You know, it's taking the cake on cancel culture, even all over those blue-haired weirdos and those blue check marks on Twitter. You know, I guess if you're blue, you're a weirdo. That's it, guys. Blue weirdo. Oh wait, does that work with? Yeah, it does. I guess it does. Sorry, guys. I had to go there. Danny McBride is funny in literally everything. Yeah, he is too. He is hilarious. Myrtle looks nothing like you, Trent. Oh, absolutely not, dude. Like that dude's like he's a weirdo. He's weird. He's probably a blue check mark. You should go check out his Twitter. They say McBride is cool as hell in person. Yeah, I mean, I
Sure.
imagine if you meet all of them in the right setting, everybody probably is. Will Ferrell and the other guys. How can we forget about Gator? Yes, the other guys, man. That's the
Those are
one I'm
really
thinking of, right? With The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson, isn't it? Where they jump
Yeah,
off the building at the very beginning. Yeah, that movie was
yeah.
pretty funny. I've only seen that movie, I think, like twice, but that was one of those two. Like, I thought that was a good one. I think that was kind of on his downward trajectory, but that was one of those ones that was kind of in there that was definitely a good one.
Yeah, I thought that one was okay. Um, not the best, not the worst, sort of middle of the road, which is fine. It's okay to have an average comedy.
Yeah. Let's see.
I definitely wish that The Rock and Samuel Jackson were in it more. I thought they were great and they played off each other great. I wish they would have, I get the joke on why it happened, but I wish they were in it longer.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Chris at Chaos Comment says, "Hey, you got a morning guest? Yes, yes." And maybe as more people are
Yeah.
maybe more people are quarantined in their house, we'll probably have more. You are the best worst. I know. Don't worry about it. Yeah, yeah. Rob Worst is the best worst out there. Oh, that's funny. Rob Worst, I see what you did there. Yep. In interviews, it said McBride is not a dick at all.
No,
Yeah,
I
well,
think
I mean,
he
that's
plays
because
it.
you got to be personable at least.
Yeah. No, I never assumed that he would be a dick in real life. He just plays them really well.
Yeah, yeah. I think he does that character, that thing. He does that Danny McBride thing really well. And unfortunately, he's one of those ones that makes me think like that might be all he has though too.
Which is why he's not in a lot of stuff.
Right, right. Because he reminds me of just of who's that other guy out there who's great, and this dude is actually really funny too. But he's kind of that same thing as Danny McBride too. Dan Fogler.
Yeah, yeah. You know, at least Dan Fogler is in the Fantastic Beast movie, so at least he has somewhat of a career.
Yeah,
But yeah, I agree. Like I don't know if you watch the Goldbergs.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The
I think
uncle.
he's great in the Goldbergs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he's one of those actors. He's the same kind of thing as Danny McBride too. Like he does like that character most of the time. That's
Right.
really all he's got. But he's good at it. Because like Dan Fogler, like when I think of Dan Fogler in a movie, like I mean, I think of like for the most part, he's always the character in Balls of Fury,
Hmm. Yeah,
which is
that's
great though because Balls of Fury is freaking hilarious.
What did
Oh,
you think on Will Ferrell? What did you think of Anchorman 2?
Anchorman 2.
Because
Anchorman,
I saw it in the theater,
yeah, yeah,
obviously because I
theater
was a
too.
huge fan of Anchorman 1.
Hmm.
And I walked out of that movie extremely disappointed. I don't think I really laughed at all. And I haven't rewatched it since, and maybe I'll soften my tone rewatching it, but I still haven't gotten to give it another shot.
You know what it was for me was I thought Anchorman 2 was really good and it was really hilarious right up until they started regurgitating all the jokes from Anchorman 1,
Yeah.
which came in the form of I think the first one was when they kind of made fun of the Sex Panther because they still brought that back, but they did the condom thing
Hmm.
where he opened up his cabinet and he had all the different condoms and everything there, kind of redoing that whole Sex Panther, like kind of taking and recycling that joke. I think at that point in the movie is where they lost me because that's when they started really regurgitating. They redid the fight scene and everything again.
Yeah.
Like I think right up until that point, it was good. It
Hmm.
was good, and then it went off the rails with too much with of the regurgitating of the old stuff. And I think that type of movie, I think Anchorman 2 is too long for that type of movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree with a lot of the points that
Plus
you just made there.
plus you can't really improve on perfection.
Yeah, and not even a lot of people thought it was perfection to begin with. I mean, that
Yeah.
it took a while for people to really get on board with Anchorman.
Yeah, it did. And me, I love that one since it came out, man. I love that freaking movie because it's hilarious. Hey, everyone, come see how good I look.
I feel like though that's a common theme with Will Ferrell movies. Like
Right.
I think he just like rubs people the wrong way. Like maybe they just don't understand like what he's going for at first, and then for some reason it just catches on like 5 years later. Like
Right.
I don't it's hard to put my finger on why that happens. And I'm not saying like even I loved everything to start. There are definitely movies of his that I was just like, like Old School. Honestly, Old School. I did not really like Old School the first time I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
It
See, and
took
I love
multiple viewings for me to really get on board with it, and now I do really like the movie. But that was one. Talladega Nights was another one that I was just like, what is this? I don't understand why people are loving this movie, and it took a while for me to and multiple viewings.
Yeah. Now, for me, like I understand what you're saying. Like for me, I love Talladega Nights and what it is, but I always think that that's one that's always been kind of overhyped as well. As far as people liking it, not that it's a bad movie or anything, because it's a freaking hilarious movie. But to me, I think that was again. I think that's another one too that kind of marked like where it kind of started to go on a downhill trend for him.
Hmm.
Because like it was funny, but some of the stuff kind of got that ridiculous kind of funny. Like it's like okay, and then I think after that was when the Step Brothers came out, and that was definitely some more of that noticeably different comedy, where it was definitely more downhill.
Yeah, yeah,
But
because
yeah, yeah, the Anchorman one, man, that's like classic stuff, and I think you're all right for a lot of people. It may seem that way, but like those particular movies are ones I loved the second I seen them. Like Old School, like when I first seen that movie in the theater, I loved it. Like that was I was like, dude,
Mhm.
this is my shit right here. This I love this film. But I was also, God, what would it have been? I'd have been in my early 20s, I guess.
Yeah,
In my
me
early
too.
20s at that time, so it was at a time where I was kind of partying and kind of living it up too anyway, and loving life, and it was just a different time. um
Yeah, I was 23 when that came out, so that was like right at the age of like going out, having fun, the whole deal. And I'm not even like a big Vince Vaughn fan either, but
mhm.
I'm
Oh, and I
with you.
love Vince
This
Vaughn.
this movie, I it hit me right away. I
Yeah.
loved it.
And this was also like Old School also came out right around the time when I would say it might actually be one of the ones that really kicked off that whole Judd Apatow era of high comedy with some drama mixed into it. The Judd Apatow started like the rated, like what do they call it, the rated R comedies.
Mhm.
When those really started to become prominent, because I think soon after that was like when the 40-Year-Old Virgin was coming out, and some of
Yeah,
those
I
some
was
of
gonna
those
say,
types of
I
films.
think, yeah, like American Pie 2. I know, American Pie 1 was 90s, but American Pie 2, American Pie 3, like all those,
Yeah,
R-rated stuff is coming out as well.
yeah, yeah. So it was kind of around that era, and I think Old School, I believe, was Todd Phillips' first film.
I think
and
so.
and yeah, as I'm saying, when it came out, dude, like like the movie was hilarious. I mean, everything about it I was loving. When it came out, just like I said, I mean, probably like some of it was probably my age, some of it was probably just the time in comedy that it was now, because you look at comedies that come out now, and it's not even really the same. Definitely
Yeah,
a
no.
different era. A lot of people would say that's probably due to cancel culture. you know a lot of people look at, I know it was a handful of years ago, but Jerry Seinfeld actually came out and he was one of the first ones talking about it, about not going to do like the college tours and stuff like that, about
Mhm.
how hard they are, because certain people like certain kind of comedy and they don't want this kinds of comedy and different things like that. You can't be offensive like that, and say things that are offensive to people.
Right.
And so he stopped doing that, and I think it was, I don't know, maybe a year or two later, like he started doing more touring again, and we actually went and caught him on his tour down in Vegas a handful of years ago, and it was really good too, because he didn't use a lot of his old stuff or anything like that. It was great too. He was there with Mario Joyner, he was hilarious too.
I don't know who that is.
Mario Joyner.
Mm.
He's a black comedian. I swear he used to host Double Dare back in the day when Mark Singer wasn't on it, but I can't seem to find that anywhere. I swear,
Mandela effect.
huh?
It's the
Yeah,
Mandela effect.
yeah, no, but I swear he used to, or maybe it was after Mark Singer was on. But yeah, Mario Joyner, he's a funny comedian. But they were even talking about like how he was even talking about how like the comedy these days, like the people don't want to be offended and things like that. And while I think that's somewhat true, I also think that's no reason for anybody to stop, because we can see that there's obviously the other people out there who are still telling offensive comedy, and I wouldn't say necessarily getting away with it, but because people are trying to keep it in check these days, where it's
Mhm.
like, you know what, if you're a comedian, it's pretty, and you're doing comedy, I say it's no holds barred. The thing I would say is it comes down to a time and a place, because we see what happened with Roseanne, we see what happened with Kathy Griffin and things like that. And the thing is like, for me, I would say social media probably isn't the place to use as your stand-up platform to tell jokes on, to do offensive things on, unless that's what you do with that particular platform. If you're just like on your Twitter and that's all you do is tell a bunch of jokes, ha 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 ha, okay, cool. You're using it as a platform for your comedy. But if you're using it to tell jokes and tell like serious stuff out there and things like that, somewhere there's where does the line gray? Because look at James Gunn. He's not a comedian. Look what he did online and look what happened to him. And they say,
Right.
oh, it was just jokes.
Right.
Was
Yeah,
it?
I mean, it
But
depends. It depends on your clout. It depends
yeah.
on your following. Like Ricky Gervais is pretty no holds barred on Twitter as well. Like he just does not give an F about
Mhm.
anything. And he's at the level now where he's got such a huge following and he's got enough money that he just doesn't care. Like he could not get hired again for 10 years and it wouldn't affect him like at all. But also that's not going to happen because he's got such a huge following that he's going to go, he's going to, he can do any tour he wants and people are still going to show up. So it depends. Like anyone can get away with anything if you're loved. Like it's the people who have a mixed following in society that you can't really get away with everything.
Right. Yeah, and yeah, like I said, for me, I think a lot of it comes down to what they're doing on their particular platforms. Like I said, with like between the Roseanne thing, the and just all these different comedians, like because for me, you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? Like if you're a comedian
Mhm.
and you're doing a lot of personal opinion stuff on politics and everything like that on your Twitter, and then all of a sudden you're telling jokes, like you probably need to pick and choose your battles. Maybe have one like your fan page where you do just your joke stuff, and then have your personal one where you do your serious stuff. Because there's going to come a point where people get upset about one or the other.
Right.
Um, like because like when like even like a comedian to get up on stage and you're up there telling your jokes. Like it's okay to tell jokes that have like that have serious connotations and stuff like that in them, but to get up there like be where you're supposed to be telling a joke and then you get all like all preachy and everything.
Mhm.
Like you get out on there acting like these actors do at the award shows. Like like that's not the time and the place. People are there to laugh.
Right. Yeah, I mean, everyone gets to do what they want on their stuff, and it's you get your feedback. That's the thing about it. You get your instant feedback. So if you do it and people don't like it, they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you quick.
Yeah, definitely. I have Anchorman DVD, but I stopped watching 10 minutes into it. Maybe need to give it another try. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because like the first Anchorman is great, Rose Sachs. The first Anchorman is great. It's classic stuff. Classic chick, man. Captain Pennsylvania says, I was like 16 or 17 when Old School dropped. I loved it then. I love it now. Yes. And I like the raunchy comedies anyway, man. Like there's not much that like there's very very. I honestly don't think there's anything that you could do to offend me. It'd take a lot to
Right.
to offend me, especially in like a comedy or a movie. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
people in my personal life would be hard enough anyway. But yeah.
uh, of the raunchy comedies, there's pretty much three categories. So there's the drunk bro comedy, there's the sex comedy, and there's the stoner comedy. Which do you think that you watch more of?
I like all of them. I like for me like I don't know like the like
Like some of my favorites are probably the stoner ones because
right.
like movies like um I don't know, like Grandma's Boy, that's still one of my all-time favorite comedies.
Oh that's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
one. It's a great one.
Love that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. John
And with
says
Chappelle
love
too.
me some
What's the
Chappelle.
one with Chappelle? Not How High. Half Baked. Half
Half baked.
Baked. Oh, God, what a great movie. Love
Yeah,
that
that's
movie.
a classic. But so is How High.
Yeah,
How
How
High
High is
is
really good too.
yeah, How High is another one of my favorites. And How High is one of those ones like uh I feel like that's a love or hate it movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Mhm.
really one of those ones that like it's not uh as well revered as I would say like a Half Baked is.
Mhm.
In the sense of what people like. Some people are gonna like it, and some people are just not gonna like it at all. Where I feel like the Half Baked probably appeals to a wider audience.
Probably, especially at that time with Chappelle being as big as he was and Jim Brewer being as big as he was at the time.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe you know what? It's because Half Baked had more diversity in it.
Yeah. I mean, it did. It really did.
I mean, barely. Honestly, barely, really, because like how high has it's got a bunch of white people in there too. But I think it's a type of comedy though that it has in it too that may
Mhm.
appeal to certain audiences more than others.
Sure.
I th- I think it's more of a mainstream film, Half Baked, even though they're very similar films. Remember, the simple act of disclosure will cause polarity. If you are not offending, if not offending something in someone's speech, you are not saying anything. Right. Right. Absolutely. I love all comedy. Man, I don't know. Like, have you seen stoner comedy all the way? For me, says AFK Bar. Yeah, I like stoner comedies too. I like the, yeah, I don't know, because like I don't know, stoner comedies. I mean, even like you're saying, like the drunk bro comedies, I like those too. You know, like the old schools and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, since Jay and Silent Bob, that's another good one. Kevin Smith doing showing Kevin Feige how it was all done. If it wasn't for Kevin Smith, we wouldn't have Kevin Feige or the MCU. What do you think about that? Which we
I
still
mean,
need to
maybe.
do that show over again. So
We
I
will.
think
We
the
will. Down
reason
the
the
road, we
Clerks
will.
2, I think the reason Clerks 2 didn't win is because my audio was all chopped up and nobody could hear all the
Yeah, that's
reasons that I had for them to vote for Clerks
right.
2. I think
Yeah,
that's what it was.
let's go with that.
Yeah. No, no, that's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
The Schoolmaster came out of left field and made me his bitch. Yeah. Grandma's Boy was a classic, slept on for a while. Yeah,
Yep.
it was slept on for a while by a lot of people. A
Hmm.
lot of people. I remember when that movie first came out, like it seemed like it was hard to find to even watch.
Oh, yeah.
Because it seemed like it was just like that kind of like flew that under the radar at the time when it came out. Let's see. All right, all right, all right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bill
Jason.
and Ted. Yeah, Bill and Ted is another good one.
Yeah, definitely.
And it seems like that's something kind of missing these days too. Is just like a good old just buddy comedy like that, you know?
Uh, yeah, I guess so. Um, Onward was a nice buddy comedy. I know nobody saw it, but that was a nice buddy comedy.
Yeah, didn't that come out in the age of Corona?
It did. Yes.
Yeah, nobody's seen that.
I'm lucky I saw it before all the theaters shut down. So,
I think my theater's still going strong.
oh, that's good.
Our local theater is a Cinemark, so I'm
Mhm.
not sure if Cinemark announced any plans that they were going to shut everything down. But I rode by there on Saturday night. Looked like the parking lot, had quite a bit of cars in it. Maybe not as much as it usually is on a Saturday night, but I don't know because I don't normally go to the movies on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
I usually try to hit like those Thursday night showings because I'm a nerd. Or
I usually go Sunday mornings.
yeah, I
Uh,
was gonna say, or I go Saturday morning, like first showing, or Sunday morning first showing, because like people are either in church or people are out doing something else.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like to get my movie in before I start watching football. So I'll go to like the 10:30 show, come home, then start watching football on Sundays.
Foosball?
The foosball.
Oh man.
You were wearing a
No.
Bears shirt the other day. What are you talking about, man?
That's just a waste of a Sunday, man. That's just a waste of a Sunday. Just look at the scores. You don't need to watch any of that crap, especially nowadays because it's not even really football anymore. Like when I stopped watching football, I started feeling like all those old school fans of football. Remember, all those ones you hear out there and be like, oh, it's not football anymore. This ain't even a game anymore. Like I started feeling that way too, and I'm just like man, and this was like in the mid 2000s. I was feeling this way, so I'm like, yeah, football is over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Go Birds.
Go what?
Go Birds.
Birds?
Yeah.
Birds.
Eagles.
Oh man, no. Oh,
Hmm.
not the Sheagles of all people.
Oh, come on. Get over here.
No.
Get out of here.
No, man. I don't care how bad they are. I would still, no matter, always go for my Bears. The Bears. I don't even have any coffee to drink out of this anymore, but yeah, it would be the Bears. Captain Pennsylvania says, Trinity, watch yourself, bro. We need football. Nah, I don't know. I stopped watching football maybe about a year or two before Colin Kaepernick started pissing everybody off.
Cool.
Yeah, when that was all going down, I was like, ha ha, suckers. I stopped football long before that.
Going strong.
Cap says, Doctor Strange specifically said he didn't act like Clerks 2. Doctor Strange specifically said he didn't act like Clerks 2. Not that Illuminati. I must have missed something there. Did I miss something there?
I don't know.
There we go.
Drunk.
AFK Bar says, I blame the Illuminati, Trinity. They don't like Clerks 2. Right. Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
Let's see.
Mhm.
I'll catch Onward on Disney Plus sometime next week, says
Yeah.
Josh Mason. You know what? Maybe that's something else we should talk about too. Maybe we should talk about something a little more serious here than just Will Ferrell now. Maybe we should switch topics now. With all these movie cancellations and everything, we were watching the Den of Nerds live this morning, and Josh was talking about the possibility of, and a lot of people were talking about that, about some of these movies just releasing on digital.
Right.
And for me, while I see like that would be an alternative, people, tossing ideas out there, I think that's like the worst idea that they could do. I think postponing the movies is honestly a little bit better, but how much better is it? Because like for me, the streaming thing is just a bad idea. Because for me, well, first of all, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the streaming in this time of quarantine, if you will?
There is a step-by-step process to which all movie studios do things as far as releasing things out for home consumption. And to skip like 3 steps and just go right to streaming is never going to happen. It's just never gonna happen. It's a nice fantasy. And look, as a fan of, the MCU and Black Widow, would I love for it to be on Disney Plus? Sure. Would I watch it the same night that it came out? Absolutely, I would. But it's not going to happen. Look, Disney released Frozen 2 early because it was already in the process of going to streaming. Okay, it was
Right.
in that next evolution. So putting it out early on streaming was not that big of a deal. Here's an example.
Star Wars
Star Wars,
too. They
right?
they released
Star
it a
Wars,
couple days
Star
early.
Wars isn't on. It's not on streaming. You can go buy it digitally, or I think you may be able
Right.
to rent it digitally, but it's still on that digital platform. It's not on streaming yet. So
Right.
there's a prime example of, yeah, there's a chain of things that are happening. The amount of money that they would lose by just jumping the gun and putting it on Disney Plus, oh, like we're talking like 300 to $500 million they would
Yeah.
lose by
And
doing
well,
that.
and even like he was suggesting, even if they did it just as a rental thing, like you can't, like it's just like a 24-hour rental thing, like they do with some of the films when they do the
Yeah.
rental thing. I think even that is like a really bad model as well, because like I was saying, like me, if I go to see Black Widow at the theater,
Mhm.
I can guarantee you that any movie like a Black Widow movie, you're selling me, just me, at
Mhm.
least 8 tickets, because there's 5 in my family. There's me, my wife, and my kids. So there's 5 of us. Plus, I can guarantee you a movie like Black Widow, I'm going
Right.
to see at least 2 more times. And you got to think, even for my kids, I mean, you're looking at $10 because you do the movie club thing, $10 a ticket. So national average is probably closer to around $13 per ticket just for a
Mhm.
regular showing, let alone IMAX, 3D, and all of that stuff. So
Right.
I mean, that's that's got to be probably millions of dollars, I would think,
Mhm.
lost.
Easily.
You know,
Absolutely.
due to doing that. But also, like you're saying too, like the process of doing that too, that it would take, like, imagine, like, it's already bad enough, the logistics of everything is rough anyway, canceling these movies and putting them off.
Right.
But then thinking of that process of going from, okay, we're not releasing these theaters, we're going to release it on digital, or even if they tried to speed release a disc or something,
Right.
that's a logistical nightmare, I'm sure, to
Well,
even think
and
about that.
yeah, and there's also contracts you got to think about too, that they have with the theaters, that there's a certain window that they're not even allowed to release it onto home video. So I mean, everything's getting pushed back. They're not actually in a rush to release this movie. They'll do it when the timing's right. I mean, they're not. Look, it's already going to be a down year for
Yeah,
everybody. It's going to be a down year, so you have to mitigate as much damage as possible. And to jump to streaming is, it's not a viable option.
right,
Not if you want to hit your bottom line. It's not
right.
going to happen.
Yeah. And I don't want to make this seem like Josh was the only one with this idea neither. He was
No,
just
no.
talking about it this morning
And
because
look,
I've seen everybody on social media talking about this stuff too. And to me, no matter what, that just sounds like the worst idea to do, because people were even talking about that before this, before all the cancellations started happening, was about New Mutants, about why don't they just do it to digital and all that stuff. Like, no, like that is just a terrible idea altogether.
so I'm a little more flexible with the idea of putting New Mutants on Hulu. First of all, New Mutants wouldn't go on Disney Plus; it would go on Hulu. But I'm a little bit more flexible with that, just because of the budget of that film is not nearly as much as it is with Black Widow, nor would they be making the kind of money that Black Widow is going to. I mean, Black Widow
Right.
could. I don't know that Black Widow is going to hit $1 billion, but man, that's a 700 to $1 billion film right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Right.
it's right there in that range for sure.
New Mutants is not that. New Mutants is a $400-500 million film, probably max.
Yeah.
And they knew that, which is why the budget was low.
Yeah. And I honestly think that even New Mutants, as many people want to see it, don't want to see it, I still think they would lose a lot of money going direct to digital on that,
Oh yeah,
and skipping the theater, because no matter what, I think putting that in the theaters, it's getting that big distribution. I still think that they would get asses in seats and still make, maybe it wouldn't be a blockbuster, but I still think they'd make a lot of money at the theater on a theatrical release than like direct to streaming or
right,
rental or anything like that as well.
right. And also the idea that oh, just do it to Disney Plus, people will just start signing up for Disney Plus is not.
No.
It's not the mindset you should be in. Look, they just released the numbers. Last month they had like 28.5 million subscribers, and I'm sure, let's say by now, let's just round up to 30, just for even numbers. So That's only 30 million subscribers, and I mean, you're not, just because you release Black Widow, you're not going to see that triple, which is what they would need to sort of equal the amount of money that this movie would be losing by going to Disney Plus.
FK Bart says I would risk the virus to see Black Widow. Me too. Me too. And that's the thing, is like because to me, like, it just seems like the only other viable solution for if they wanted to even think about doing a streaming thing would be to not even do it streaming, but to make it an actual pay-per-view event
Right.
where,
Sort of
just
what
like
Josh
UFC and
did.
stuff, where you're not just paying just like $20 and you're getting to watch it. It's going to be an event where you're going to have to pay like $100, 120, however much dollars for that, for like a pay-per-view event like that, because they know that somebody is going to do that and have, maybe a group of 5, 10, 20 of their friends at their house to watch it. If they were to do something like that, to me, that would be the only real viable solution to making up the money that you would lose without a theatrical release.
Right. So you're saying make it like $50 to $100 like a regular pay-per-view. I mean, yeah, I still don't think that the infrastructure is there to accommodate that. I mean, Disney
Right.
doesn't necessarily have a digital structure like that. So
Right.
they'd have to do one of two things. One, they'd have to create it, which is going to take some time. Or two, they're going to have to pay another company to do it. So now you're automatically losing revenue from that as well. So, and not to mention, look, whether you like Disney or not, I mean, that's another topic for another stream, but Disney in a way is single-handedly keeping theaters afloat.
Right.
And theater chains know that, and Disney knows that, and without Disney films in the theaters, movie theaters in general are going to you might see mass closing. So yeah, look, again, as a fan, of course I want it in my home.
Yeah.
I'm working from home. Who knows how long it's going to be. Would I like to watch it right now? Yes, I would, absolutely. But that kind of mentality of just throw it to streaming might actually do more damage long term than the short term of I want to see this movie.
Right. Right. Yeah, and plus, like these movies are, to me, these movies are meant for theatrical release anyway. They're not movies that were ever made to be geared towards home streaming. You know, they were made, to go direct to streaming anyway.
Yeah.
They were made for that theatrical release.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I got a nice TV, I got a nice sound system. I still love going to the movies and seeing it big first.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And even mine's a little outdated and stuff, but it still looks good and everything. But I mean, nothing compares to. I mean, it's that theater experience. You go out, you're in that environment. You see everybody. Maybe if you eat popcorn and soda and all that stuff, you have
Yeah.
all that stuff. You get
Mhm.
there, maybe it's in 3D, it's in IMAX, the sound that just I don't
Mhm.
know, it's an experience. But
Yeah, I mean,
AFK Bart here has a good question. Says, do you think the movies are going to get permanently canceled that haven't gotten past pre-production so that money and time can be diverted to money makers? Uh, I don't
I don't think
know. That's a good
permanently.
question. I think that some movies might be. I wouldn't maybe say canceled, but might be put on hold for sure. For sure.
Yeah, if it's a good idea and they think they can make money off it, they're not gonna never do it.
Yeah.
They it definitely is gonna get pushed back. I mean, I mean, life is gonna get pushed back 3 months
Yeah,
easily.
and also as far as the money makers are concerned, I think these days it's really hard to say what's going to make money or not. I mean, I think we could safely say that a Marvel Studios film is going to make money. An MCU film is going to make money. Um, at this point, I mean, can we really say that about a Pixar film or about a Disney film? I mean, we know they're going to make money, but are they going to be like the big like blockbusters, like you're saying, like money makers? I think at this point it's hard to say for a lot of movies what's actually going to make like really be a big blockbuster film.
Yeah, it's definitely a risk for sure. I mean, Marvel's pretty much printing money. Even the lower ones are still making 5, 6, $700 million. So yeah, MCU pretty locked in. Everything else, it depends. Fast and Furious, they're still printing money.
Yeah, yeah. Josh Mason says movies cost a lot less back in 1974 when they made the New Mutants originally. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say because I think the girl playing Ileana Rasputin, I think she's a grandmother now. Am I wrong? Yeah, man. That point, and you know what's so sad is like lately I've been really anticipating that movie more and more lately, and then
Mhm.
damn it, we were
Yeah,
almost
cursed,
there.
cursed.
Captain Pennsylvania says, speaking of, got Josh and a few others for Mutant History Month. We need others for support. They can message me on Twitter with info. Absolutely, yeah, that'd be cool. We need to do a Mutant History Month. I was thinking of a pay-per-view thing. Yeah, the pay-per-view thing to me would really be the only viable thing, and it would, like I said, the cost would have to be high because, like I said, you think, and I know it's not just me. Like I said, where I'm easily dropping over $100 to go see it just for me and my family. But you
Mhm.
got to think I bet you there's a very, very high percentage of people out there in the audience who are just like me and more,
Yeah.
and more so. People with bigger families, people who go in bigger groups and things like that.
Yeah, when it's an MCU movie, me and my wife go with 2 other friends of ours, so that's 4 guaranteed. When it's a kids movie, it's a minimum 3 tickets for us. Not to mention, because we always get concessions. I mean, we probably shouldn't, but we do. So
Right, right. Josh Mason here says, imagine not experiencing the theater explode when Cap finally held Mjolnir. Losing out on experiences like that would be sad.
mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? And I'm one of those people. I like the theater to be quiet and everything like that when I go see a movie. But there's times like that when you see that shit in a movie and you're like you can't help it. Like I'm not jumping up and making noise, but I'm sure sitting there like, oh my god, like yes, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
because I'm not an
definitely.
overreactive kind of person, so I don't do trailer reactions.
Yeah, I'll say this. I didn't get the giant feels for Cap getting Mjolnir, but definitely at the end with Tony, that got me. And
And
I don't think I would've had that big of a reaction, if I was at home for sure.
You know what's funny is for me, like I'm telling you, like this is like I did a video on it. Probably one of my favorite videos I've ever done was the whole the Thor arc in the movie.
Mhm.
Um, like when Thor chopped off when he lopped off Thanos' head, like everybody was like in the theater, like, oh no, everybody was all cheering and everything. Like, dude, like seriously, like the first time I seen that, like I was instantly sad when I watched. I was like, damn, dude, like that was heavy because man, like I'm a film nerd. Like when I seen that, I've talked about that scene so many times here on the channel. That whole scene, everything leading up to that
Mhm.
very moment, I could tell at the theater something good was getting ready to, or something not good was getting ready to go down. There's certain things in the way that it's framed. There's certain little things in the camera shake, that the build up and everything leading right up to that scene. Like when I seen that theater, like I actually got emotional at the theater when that happened. Um, because I knew it wasn't a good thing, you know. And then like a split second later, you see Rocket Raccoon. He turns, he looks in the at him. And he's like, "What did you do?" And like I was even sitting there in the theater. I was like, "Damn, bro! Like, dude, I can't I almost lost my shit there in the theater from the very first time because I knew something was getting ready to happen. Then when I seen Fat Thor, I was like, okay, it was really no surprise for me because like I kind of knew what was going on there, I got it and I understood it and I knew. And like I said, I did a video on it. It's like one of my favorite videos I ever did because I got it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Where everybody else was cheering, I was sad.
Yeah. I don't love Thor. He's not my favorite. He's like Superman to me.
What 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 okay, where are we going here? What's
I don't know. It just seems like,
Thor hate, Superman hate?
yeah, just, I don't know. Look, I clearly, and you know this, my favorite character in the MCU is Tony. So I've always been Team Stark. But you know this. Come on. Don't
Oh man, we're getting it. This dude's gone out of here with that stuff, dude. We hashtag this Stark sham, man. Oh man, sorry, I had to. I had to.
Yeah, yeah.
Tony Stark. This dude,
Yeah, he's the best.
this dude's not even a hero. He's not even a hero.
He saved us all. He
No,
gave his life to save us all.
no. I can guarantee you that he wouldn't have even been able to save anybody, if it wasn't for Dr. Arnim Zola, Hail Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to do any of that stuff. None of that stuff.
Right.
Like, he would have been
Yeah.
dead a long time ago.
I watched your video. I watched your hate spew that you put out there. Your hit piece on
don't
Tony Stark.
don't I was gonna say don't worry here because AFK Bard here in the chat is totally on your side with the love for Tony Stark.
Right. Good.
And
I
the
need
thing is, like,
I know I'm in the minority.
I like Tony Stark. I mean, I like Robert Downey Jr. and his portrayal of Tony Stark and in the movies and everything. I'm just
Mhm.
saying that Tony
Mhm.
Stark isn't all that, folks. He's not all that. The Starks are a little bit of a sham, just a little bit. Oh man, he's getting red in the face, dude. He's ready to yell. You can let it go. Let it go.
Look, I mean, honestly, Cap is overrated. Thor is overrated. Hulk is overrated. Tony's the greatest character. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like Cap. Cap is one of my favorites in the MCU. Black Widow is definitely one of my favorites as well. I don't know. I don't know. I think obviously the MCU is what made me like Iron Man. What made me like Thor. What got me into Captain America more because like I was always more of a Spider-Man fan, Wolverine, and a Wolverine fan when I was
Yeah.
growing up.
I'm really angering people in the chat. I love this.
This is funny. Yeah. Oh, look, there we go. We got Cap in there coming to save it. Oh, dang. Look, see, there's AFK Bard with you. I told
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, Jason Preston.
Saved us all.
Oh, Jason is here. Says, "What's up, man?
Multiple times.
How you do, Jason? How do you feel? Are you Team Stark or are you Team Arnim Zola? Let me
Like
know.
during Civil War, I was definitely Team Stark.
You know, I was thinking.
Cap was probably right. I don't care.
I was thinking about doing one of your debate eights on this with the Starks and Arnim Zola and some of these different people out there. But what I was gonna do is, who is the MCU's greatest villain?
Don't say it.
That was gonna and that was
There's gonna be
naturally Tony Stark was gonna be on the list and probably win it. I was gonna set it up. I was gonna seed everything just right to where there was no denial. Oh, Pope Service says any name any current Tony Stark stories worth reading. Trick question because it's a Marvel book and there are no Marvel books worth reading. Oh, dang. Right. Dang, Pope Service, that's messed up. There's a few worth reading. Look at Captain Pennsylvania says, I don't even know who Adam is anymore.
Clearly, I'm being, a slightly facetious saying that they're overrated, but I still stand by the fact that Tony Stark is a better character. He's got a better arc overall. From where he starts in Iron Man 1 to where he ends in Infinity War or Endgame, he's got the best arc out of everybody.
Yeah. Well, and as I'm saying, I actually his actual arc in the MCU, I actually really do like his arc because it starts. I mean, just the character itself from when it starts in Iron Man 1, where he's that wisecracking, like womanizer, alcoholic and all that kind of stuff, and then you see because. Like for me, I went from loving Tony Stark and like the first Iron Man and all that stuff to the point where when it came to Civil War, I'm like, you know what? F Tony Stark. I'm tired of this dude. I don't like the dude. Yeah, I'm Team Cap all the way. And then how it really comes back around to Infinity War and then Endgame, where you see him. He's actually went and kind of even within. How I look at him, even kind of redeemed himself in that sense too, where he did kind of come back more into the hero realm and ended up kind of saving everybody and things like that. So in terms of his arc, his character arc has been absolutely phenomenal because he does go from that, people like him to you kind of like a lot of people kind of like, you know what, kind of over Tony Stark, and then he brought and reeled it all back in, definitely.
Yeah, every time he's in a movie or on screen, his character learns something from other people. He changes. Somebody like Cap, his character is always the same. He's always, he never has lessons to learn. I mean, granted, he's one of the best as far as morals go, so it's kind of hard to raise yourself morally. Which is why I like Tony better because he started out not great and he only had up to go.
Pope Service says that was an easy alley oop. I just love dunking on Marvel. Take it easy, Marvel zombies. No, it's all good. No, Pope Service. I mean, I totally hear you because I'm there with you too on like the as far as Marvel comics are concerned. Their good titles are few and far between, very few and far between. Like the Thor recent Thor run has been great. And in the sense, I've talked about this here on the channel as well. Is like to me, it's kind of sad when I read The Amazing Mary Jane, and that's one of the few titles I actually look forward to reading every single month.
Why is that sad though?
She's a regular person with no powers, some superpowers, or anything like that. She's not a superhero. It's just a story. And then that's the thing, is like, this is Marvel. The superheroes were talking. That's what's sad about it, is we're just a regular tale about just a regular character with no superhero powers is reeling me into wanting to read. I anticipate that book more than I do Amazing Spider-Man, Captain America.
You're enjoying the X-Men stuff though, aren't you?
Huh?
You're enjoying the X-Men stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. But again, that comes down to, limiting, being a limiting thing too, of it's really kind of all being done under Jonathan Hickman's watch as well. So obviously we can see that Marvel has that problem where we got one thing going on good over here, one thing going good on over here. What's going on with the rest of it? And we know that comes down to editors and things like that as well.
Sure.
Is ultimately what that comes down to. Yeah. But
it's all good.
Anyway, man. So
it flows, right?
Yeah. So what have you got coming up this week? What's on the agenda?
I don't know. So I had a show planned on Wednesday with a guest. I might have to push the guest off because uh, with the last couple shows, I'm sure people have saw my computer has not really been able to handle um, guests. I'm in the process of upgrading my computer, and with everything going on with thing that shall not be named, uh, it sort of pushed back getting the parts. I'm actually building my own computer, um, and doing it. And I'm ordering all the parts, and there's a motherboard. I know this is like stupid, boring stuff nobody really cares about, but there's a motherboard that I really needed, and I finally got available today, so I'm ordering it, but it's not going to get here till after the show this Wednesday. So I may just do a solo show this week, and I may change the topic. I haven't decided yet. I was thinking maybe I might do the greatest trilogies of all time. Up in the air. I'm definitely going to make a decision by tomorrow, though.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, as I
That,
say,
that
yeah,
way,
you can see where I was running into technical difficulties on my show. So I started just running it through StreamYards, with having the guests on and everything, and I've made it work. It's
yeah,
of course my setup wasn't as good and as well thought out as yours is.
well, that's the problem. I have so much graphic stuff that I don't know that I could do it on StreamYard. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely
Right.
going to do something on Wednesday because I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah,
But
I hear you because like I said on mine through StreamYard, that's why I think I ended up going through because I run on a Mac, but I went through and I ended up just doing my the bracket template, and then I put all the names on there, and I was just running it through like the photo editing program where I went
Mhm.
through it, and then I was just sharing the screen from there. And I'm like, it's the best I can really think of to do to have a graphic on for people to. I was like, it works. I think people still got it.
Honestly, I think it may not be exactly what you want, but honestly, while I was watching it, I thought it worked. I would never have known that that it wasn't that it was a makeshift kind of cut and paste job for you. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
flowed.
Yeah, and yeah, I was gonna say because I started that last week because everything went awry, trying to run everything through OBS with StreamYards and all that crap. Like it just was not
Right.
gonna happen. So I was like, okay, I got to find a way to make this at least look halfway decent.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, it's
But
working for you. I'm enjoying the shows. I can't wait to get into some topics that I can jump in with. And just by the way, just because I said I listen to country, that doesn't mean it's literally the only thing that I listen to. I know you keep harping on it. And listen, also when you say listen to country, it's not like the 40s and 50s like Dwight Yoakam stuff. Okay, there is modern country that is more like rock than anything else. Okay,
it's all
putting that out
Conway.
there. Yeah,
It's all Conway Twitty, dude.
putting that out there. No, no, no. I want you to get into some actual rock. Like, yeah, I know you guys are like really into heavy metal, but once you start getting into actual rock bands, that's when I'm gonna like
Yeah,
really
I think
get into.
I think that's what we're actually looking at right now is maybe doing rock. This coming week is doing rock, maybe like 80s rock, and rock is one because it's more of a general. It's a bigger. There's more bands that can be put into the rock category as opposed to like heavy metal, or as
Right.
opposed to all the different little subgenres. So I think we were thinking about doing rock through some of the decades as well, because like when you think about rock, because like Motley Crue doesn't fall into heavy metal.
Right.
They don't fall into any other really kind of genre, like hair metal. Are we going
Mhm.
to do a hair metal? Like they're more rock, just like a Bon Jovi falls into rock.
Right.
Like we're saying,
Aerosmith
like
earlier, stuff like that.
Motorhead. Yeah, yeah. Just so it's a much broader one. So it's one that
Yeah.
could actually be a lot harder to do just 8 bands with.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing that, I struggle with sometimes when I'm picking topics is getting, there's I have a limited amount of topics. Picking a topic isn't the issue. It's getting a topic that all eight make it compelling. You know,
Right.
that's the hardest part.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Aggressively relaxing says, I like jazz with drop D tuning and and jazz with a training guitar.
Hey man, you should do a all Kenny G, the best of Kenny G. That'll really get in the views.
Oh man. Aggressively relaxing is hilarious. But anyway, guys, yeah, make sure you go subscribe to Adam and Fanjexer's channel. There are links down in the description on this video where you can go find his channel. and subscribe. He does these debate dates, which are really great with films and everything, really fun. I took and appropriated his content, and it's great because it's a fun thing where you, the audience members, get to interact and have a very good time. And also make sure that you go and follow Adam. You can find him on Twitter at Fanjecture. It's right there. You can see it there on the screen. See right there. You can, go follow him. You can follow me at Second Street Marvel. Make sure you come and check us out. But yeah, guys, I guess that's gonna do it for today. But look forward to maybe some more content coming here on the channel. Maybe we'll get some more streams going on. You know, with everybody being at home and everything. There's really no reason for more people to not be at home online streaming, bringing you entertainment, which is quite surprising because this whole weekend I was working out in my garage and I'm sitting there the whole time thinking like, and I'm getting ready to say a curse word, people. So if you don't want to see a curse word, hear a curse word, just tune out right now. But I was sitting there out in my garage working. I'm like, where the fuck is everybody live streaming? Where's all the good live streams at right now? While everybody's sequestered at their houses and quarantined in, where's all my good damn live streams? There wasn't shit on. I'm working out in the garage, like, and I believe me, I love music and I like listening to music, so I'm listening to music. But I'm like, I kind of feel like changing it up a little bit and having somebody with some conversation, talking about good comics and movies and shit. Come on, people.
I laughed this weekend seeing the amount of videos of channel updates.
Right?
Yes. Were like, I don't know what to do. I can't see a new movie. And I'm not trying to like single anybody out. It's just I found it funny. I'm like, guys, there's 100 years of movies and television. Like,
yeah. And that's what most of them said. That's what most of them said. Like, we'll go back and review some old stuff. Like, yeah, of course.
I mean, I just thought it was a no-brainer until I started seeing all these channel updates. I'm like, okay, maybe it's not a no-brainer.
Yeah. Well, and for me, the funny thing is I always like being there and seeing those videos, those channel updates, you know, and these things like that, because it always makes me laugh. Because whenever I see some of my the people that I interact with and stuff like that, I always just go on their things and be like, "Ooh, I love channel update videos." Kind of like being silly and sarcastic, but I also do like them too, just to see where everybody's going. But I do like to do that to be silly because I'm like, oh god, another one of these channel update videos. God, like we get it. And it's funny too because it seems like they do all come at the same time too. Like everybody has this like things going on at the same time. Like seriously, and it's so weird too because like I'll see like one person drop one, and then a whole bunch of people, even when it's not over stuff like what's going on right now. It's hilarious. But I see. So you got your kids. They're getting restless.
It's lunchtime. Hey, get out of here. Get.
Hi. My kids do the same thing from time to time. It's great. Gotta love them.
All right, I'm gonna go before it gets crazy over here.
Yeah, no problem, man. You have a good one, and you all have a very good day. Thank you all for being here today, and we'll see you all in the next video. Later.